I just wanted to say that still 5 minutes we are dealing with some technical issues and we'll start in a short while. You will let us know when we can start, yes? We could start now already? Yeah? Okay. So welcome to this session about biobanking. My name is Rovite. I am head of Latvian National Biobank and also coordinating BBMRI-ERIC, so European Infrastructure of Biobanking Activities in Latvia. And my co-chair here is...
Hello, I'm Markus Perola. I'm a research professor in the Finnish Institute for Health and Welfare. I do genetic science, and I'm also the CSO of the THL Biobank, which is the largest biobank in Finland.
So, and before our presentation of the session, we have one order of business to do. In our Latvian National Biobank Network, there are already 2 participants, University of Latvia and Riga Stradiņš University, and our institution as coordinators by Medical Research and Study Center. But today, we are very glad that our network is expanding, and also Latvian Children's Hospital is joining us today, and the first order of business is the signature of the partner charter of BBMRI, where Children's Hospital are joining our network of biobanks in Latvia. We're very happy, and I invite on stage for signature Director of Latvian Biomedical Research Study Center, Nils Rostaks, who will sign this partner charter on behalf of Biomedical Center, and also Valds Abos, who is chair of the board of Riga Children's Hospital. So please. If you would like to say something, please be free and take a microphone and say some words about this collaboration.
Okay, yeah, thanks. I think it's a milestone moment of Children's Hospital to join and providing opportunity for the patients and scientists to join the strongest biobanking network. And I do believe that it's a significant move from like silo or separated excellence to like community strengths, and we'll be part of that community now. Thank you.
Thank you. And Nils, or I could continue as a national coordinator. I think you could speak.
Okay. Yes, can you hear me? Well, I would just like to add to that being part of this European infrastructure networks is extremely important for our science. And just because BMC is a coordinator from Latvian side, it doesn't mean that we are more important than the other people here. We are extremely happy that Children's Hospital is able to join us, and we'll continue working together. Thank you.
Thank you. And from the national coordinator part, I could express the deep welcome to you, to the network, because you have already many initiatives you are contributing to personalized medicine, and we look forward for further collaboration. So thank you. Okay, thank you very much. And now we proceed with presentations in our session, and I have great honor and pleasure to welcome Jens Habermann, who is General Director of BBMRI-ERIC, European Infrastructure for Biobanking. We are very happy that you are here in Latvia meeting us all, and so please, we are looking forward for your presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much for the warm welcome, and I'm really delighted to be here in this fantastic meeting to talk a little bit about biobanking also from the European perspective, but especially what's basically how we work together from the headquarters with the national nodes and the Biobank community in our member states. So I will have about 20 minutes and go through different topics. And I think first it's very important to start how we are actually situated in the European landscape. And you may know, you may not know, that currently there are 32 European Research Infrastructure Consortia, in short ERICs, and they're organized in 5 different clusters, which they're operating in, and BBMRI-ERIC belongs to the largest of these clusters in the health and life science domain. Now, as you can appreciate, in average there are 12 member states who carry these ERICs. And if you look to BBMRI-ERIC, we are very proud to have 22 member states, Latvia being one of them. We are very proud to have you on board, and 4 observers. It's the member states who basically help to maintain the infrastructure as such with a core budget, but the actual work is done by the biobanks, by you and the national nodes. This is the backbone of the wider infrastructure. And this should not be forgotten, because without you, the infrastructure is empty. So this is a big plea that let's just remind on that. So it's basically in BBMRI-ERIC close to 500 biobanks, which are coordinated through our wonderful national nodes, such as represented here from Latvia and Finland on stage, and the affiliated partners around at the universities and university hospitals. Then we have 3 biotech expert centers, and we have expert groups around ethically and societal implications, quality management, IT infrastructure, and the headquarters located in Graz, with Austria being the hosting country. So keeping this in mind, it's a very large distributed network, and that of course comes with challenges to how do we collaborate and operate together. Now, looking into biobanking, we all, and you know, basically that it has different requirements, and they're listed on the right side here from biobank operations, LC, QM, and IT activities and issues. But they are generic to the different biobank types. And the biobank types you see on the left side, healthcare integrated biobanks are probably the most frequent biobank types in our wider network, about 70%. Then we have also population-based biobanks, I would say around 20%, and then other biobank types like human biomonitoring, environment, plant diversity, and animal and wildlife. So all these different biobank types basically account for one new paradigm or one new basically development, which we call actually One Health, and I will come back to this if we look forward to the next decade of our common activities. Now, you can easily see that all these requirements in the biobank field are represented also in the headquarters setup with our scientific core domains around LCQM, IT, and biobank development, but also the central services and functions where we need to closely connect to the ministries in our member states and the European Commission through public affairs, and Jana is here as the head of the public affairs department, outreach, education, communications, and finance and project management overarching. So looking a little bit more closer into the field of biobanking and the hospital-integrated biobanks, I think it's all around the patients and the citizens, and we know that the biobanks, you basically collect samples and data around the entire patient path, right? Overarching the network, we have 3 major disease foci where we collaborate on also scientifically, which is cancer on one side, rare and pediatric diseases on the other side, and then COVID-19 infectious diseases. But we are absolutely aware, and I think this is the beauty of this wider network, that locally the biobanks, you are basically collecting any other disease entities in and around personalized medicine. And I think this makes the network so rich. If you look at the ideal setup on a local biobank level in a hospital integrated setting, I think we still face a structural gap between the hospital side and the translational research side. And this comes with different regulations, different prerequisites, quality assurance, the payers, the funders, health ministry, research ministry, science education. But I think what is really important to understand is that you, as a biobanks, you are bridging different sectors and different disciplines. And I think this is a very strong asset for each of our member states in the European Union overarching. So it's the biobanks really who bridge this gap from patient recruitment over consenting to sample and data collection, processing, storage, and then through more and more powerful IT solutions, allowing sample data access, basically. And I think these systems become more and more powerful, so they allow really the access to samples, clinical follow-up and research data, biomolecular resources at large, and bioinformatics and AI tools. And on that level, on that side, we don't expect the biobanks to have all this in their remit, so to say, but there we are collaborating locally, nationally, and internationally with other research infrastructures, which are close partners and where we can gain and learn from each other. On the opposite, if these systems are made locally available already to the clinical side, then it becomes extremely powerful because it can help patient empowerment, citizen engagement, it can support clinical trial activities, also from the biobanking field, or for instance, help with guidance in molecular tumor boards for patient treatment. So I think locally this is already a very powerful system. This is used, and I think this has been showcased here also in Latvia and in other member states. But if you do this in quality certified and internationally connected, it becomes extremely powerful Europe-wide to foster personalized medicine. And I think this is what BBMRI-ERIC is about, where it's not only one single location trying to achieve that, but where we all collaborating on the wider network. And this is a busy slide, I admit that, but I will guide you through, and I think it just gives so much important information. So the citizen, the patient, the donor into the center, giving the with consent data and samples into the biobank, into the network of biobanks in our national nodes, and from there the data and the services are basically acquirable. And it can be a researcher here from academia or industry, and looking into the directory, which is more an overarching tool to find the biobanks with specific collections, or the federated platform, which is more granular search and analysis tool. It's really one of the largest biobank catalog worldwide, and the federated platform gives much more granular information to search even for genomes, so to say. Now the scientist is also supported, of course, or let's maybe move first for what kind of data we are capturing. And I think we all realize that data are becoming more and more important. So we really realize that the biobanks in nowadays definition are more and more even data integration centers that also take care of the samples, I would say. And we can discuss this later on if needed. But you can see, I think, that the standardization across the wider network, what should be collected on data, has really evolved over time, and that it's really multiple parameters that are now collected and can be queried. The researcher is supported also with accessing the access pipeline, so to say. We have a help desk to guide through the different tools, and of course also ethics checks are supported. But there's also another more and more emerging activity which we call and name the BBMRI Academy, where it's the basic trainings about our core activities, LCIT, QM, and biobank development, but it's also topics in the health and life science research, so to say. And I think this becomes more and more important, even including also the patient perspective. Now, this has become a very powerful tool, and I think you should appreciate it's since 10 years in the building. It's now at a very high operational level, and we have started to collect with you, our biobanks and national nodes, the key performance indicators. I didn't want to show all of this, of the KPIs, but 4 I think are quite astonishing, because more than 10,000 users in last year have used the directory itself. More than 9,000 requests have been handled successfully. We have reached out to more than 40,000 participants in our outreach, education, and training events. And with a wider infrastructure, the wider network has brought together more than 3,000 publications concerning biobanking and outcome from biobanking. So this is a substantial number. This is a value proposition that we all have built together, and I think we can be extremely proud about it. And with this, we are also playing a substantial role within the European research area, connecting partners and structuring ERA itself. And this is just an overview slide. So I think substantially we are involved in the cancer mission, cancer beating plan through CanSurf, where also here Latvia has played a substantial role in providing samples, data, services in this virtual core facility for cancer research, where we also connect with other infrastructures and coordinate that. but it's also pandemic preparedness, where here Latvia specifically has played a significant role in fostering innovations towards this end. We're also working in the ERIC forum, coordinated by Jana, the other 31 ERICs together with us. We are participating in the European partnerships in Horizon Europe. We're the only infrastructure currently participating in the Personalised Medicine partnership and in the Brain Health partnership, and linked there also to the other infrastructures. We have been the selected one of the first 13 EOS nodes to specifically reflect the sensitive health data domain, and this is coming for this close interface between the clinical side and translational research. And also this prompted us basically to pilot the European health data space on the European level, and we are very proud that this morning we even could discuss it with the Health Ministry, but also with the Ministry of Research, Education, to look into how we even can use the expertise that is here in Latvia, in the wider network, and for the European advancements. With this said, I would like to look specifically on the cancer mission a little bit, and you can see here that the Building the Understanding Cancer platform is something which is on the research side. It's promoted and supported by DG Research and Innovation of the European Union, but it has a very close link to foster personalized medicine in the cancer research field. And BBMRI-ERIC is now in this Uncan Connect, where we had the kickoff yesterday in Tallinn, to build this platform. And I think this is an enormous responsibility, but it's also a huge opportunity for all of us. But there are many other projects where we as a wider network supporting, like the European Health Data Space, the platform for cancer imaging, genomic data infrastructure, EOS for cancer. It's about the building the National Cancer Data Node developments, in short CANDLE, but also from the patient perspective, we are involved in the European Cancer Patient Information Portal building. So there are many building blocks coming together that really foster personalized medicine, here on the example of Cancer Mission and Beating Cancer Plan. Now looking forward, because I think the last 10 years were extremely successful as a wider network supporting major initiatives, and we have started to look in together with our policymakers, the Assembly of Members, the national nodes, US Biobanks, patient representatives, advocates, the European Commission, and other infrastructures. How can we support further in the next decade? And it was unanimously approved, and I think this is a very important statement, that 22 member states agreed on the same roadmap and the overarching goals. And this is basically adapting the One Health approach to tackle the complex interconnected challenges affecting human, animal, and environmental health. And I think this is very important, because personalized medicine in the near future, without this, probably will not strive. And I think we can offer a lot here as well from the biobanking field. Climate-friendly operations, addressing the Green Deal, extremely important. Global perspectives, let others participate what we have already built to cooperate. And this is also a busy slide. I will not go into detail, but our vision has broadened up, biobanking for a healthier world. And building up on what we have achieved so far, we agreed on 8 strategic objectives. Number 1, number 3, and number 8 you already know. It's global advancements, the Green Deal, and One Health. But it's also very important, the datafication at source, because we can build very nice overarching platforms on the European level, but if the data at source at the biobank and the national node are not really equally basically substantiated, then we have an empty roof, so to say, to fill. It's an initiative to work more closer with industry, and come back to this in the next slide, but also fostering the collaboration with universities, university hospitals, and the ministry is very important for us. The BBMRI Academy, to foster it, the new generation needs to be put in place to work in the ever basically developing field, and strengthening also all our stakeholder engagement overarching. Now coming to an end closely, if you're interested in the roadmap and you haven't seen it, you can take a screenshot or approach us afterwards to go forward. And this is a slide to summarize. So we will not change with this roadmap substantially, but we will open up to other communities for collaboration, interconnecting, supporting and learning from each other, also in terms of personalized medicine and benefits for the patient. And one specific aspect here, and I'm just looking at the time, I'm a little bit over, but it's, I think I'm almost done. Important is we have used it in the last decade basically retrospectively. But how powerful would we be if we do this prospectively? And I think this is something where industry is extremely interested in collaborating with the wider network, and we are really looking for pilot sites, pilot biobanks and national nodes where we can have framework agreements that we can interact much faster towards industry requests and see if we can search and collect samples and data fit for purpose for upcoming new developments and innovations. From this roadmap, we have developed, of course, our work program, which is for 3 years now. So we changed from 1 year to 3 years. And this is basically to work much closer together to identify champions in the individual member states, in the individual national nodes and biobanks. And this is depicted on this very busy slide where you see here we have all these 8 strategic objectives. From these 8 strategic objectives, we have 30 operational goals. We have now 37 national node co-leads of these operational goals, and them reaching out into the wider community. We have brought 210 contributors from the wider biobank community into this operation. So it's a scaling factor. Lots of these activities are in kind, that needs to be admitted, but I think we are really starting to scale in dimensions which accelerate and where we can really learn from each other at a much higher level than in the last decade. We are really looking forward to that. We are here to contribute together, all of us, and to discuss further throughout the day. With this one, just an invitation, our Europe Biobank Week, you might be aware of it. The next one is in Prague, 19th to 27th of May. We can discuss here or continue there as well, or in the meantime elsewhere. Thank you so much. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much. We will have a short Q&A session at the end of the session. So please, we will continue. And I'm very glad to invite Sergio Diaz from University of Portugal and giving Portugal perspective of biobanking and personalized medicine.
Hello, thank you. First of all, thanks a lot for the kind invitation. Everyone has been extremely kind to me over these couple of days. What I decided to do, I will very briefly summarize, is a very basic presentation into our concerns as a biobank, so our ongoing concerns, because I think those might be useful, at least if not to remind everyone what the biobanking initiatives and activities represent. And then towards the end, I'll have a few slides on some of our most recent contributions towards the field of personalized medicine, which is obviously the theme of this meeting, this conference. So, very briefly, I don't really have to remind you that the excitement with biobanks started, first of all, after the Icelandic initiative, now a long time ago, one can say, but that really triggered the interest of a lot of researchers and clinicians towards the potential impact that biobanking samples from a single generation, in their particular case, in the very beginning, could represent in terms of genetic testing, genetic monitoring, etc. So that really triggered a lot of interest throughout Europe, I would say, and perhaps the world. Then we had this publication with Time magazine that really, at the time, said 10 ideas that were changing the world right now. And one of the ideas were the biobanks. And that, in Portugal, I know, really created a lot of enthusiasm and really was the kickstart, if you like, towards the creation of our very first biobanks. So the biobank I currently coordinate is only 11 years old. So all the biobanking initiatives and activities in Portugal are not that old, if you like. Now, very basic slides will follow, and I don't have to convince anyone in the audience about any of this, but again, as I said, these slides really represent or summarize some of our concerns right now. So we do know why we should create and use biobanks. You just heard the BBMRI-ERIC director summarizing this much better than I do. So this really means having access to large number of samples, be it from rare diseases or more common diseases, and then to foster obviously this interaction between fundamental or translational research and the clinicians to engage and to create an ecosystem. And I'll come back to this expression at the very last slide of my presentation. This will facilitate, as you heard, academic and industrial collaborations for sure, and it's very important. Biobanks can play a very crucial role in the communication with the general public, and this is something that we've been more and more involved in the last few years, if you like. Now, in terms of concerns, threats and organizational issues are something that we are deeply concerned because we see after 11 years of operations, some of the challenges that we have to face. So logistics and organization, bioinformatics support, ethics, data protection, and then sustainability. Give you a couple of examples. When we very first started our biobank collections, we didn't really have a proper room for the storage. And after 10 years, we already have, roughly speaking, about 300,000 samples stored right now. That, in terms of logistics and organization, is a challenge for any infrastructure. In reality, and this is not a joke, the building where our first -80 and liquid nitrogen tanks were placed started to have structural changes. It was too heavy for the structure of the building. So obviously we had to move our collections. This may seem like a joke, but this was a major issue. We don't want to destroy the building because of the biobank, obviously. Now, in terms of sustainability, at least in our experience, this is really the major challenge that we are faced right now. And we have a lot of key aspects here. First of all, that expression, the ecosystem, comes back to mind. So a very proficient interaction between clinical units and research departments or clinical departments is extremely important. Then we need good laboratory practices. We need to convince people that we can collect and manage their samples adequately, following the best SOPs. And then we need in place an ethics and data protection office, if you like, working as best as possible, as you all know. Now, in terms of threats, as I mentioned, the infrastructure, and then what we need to do really is to innovate. And I'll come back to this issue in a few slides down. So to innovate, to generate better solutions for our customers, if you like, our clients. This is important. And then finally, we have the issue of the financial sustainability. This, at least in Portugal, is a major issue. If we depend, and we've been depending perhaps too much to some extent on the government funding, this fluctuates so much in our country that if you base yourself only on that, it would be impossible to set up an operation. So we need to be creative in terms of finding solutions, and with better innovation and with better collaborations with the clinical departments, I think we are reaching somewhat this semi-independence from fluctuating government fundings. So some of the major challenges for biobanks right now have to do, as I said, to diversify services and the types of data collected. Diversity, I mean also collections from underrepresented populations. I think Portugal is in a good position to, for instance, study in very great detail a lot of immigrant populations, because only in the greater Lisbon area there are a couple of private and public hospitals whose major clients, so the majority of the patients that are attended there are really from minorities. So that in terms of genetics, in terms of metabolic diseases, rare diseases, etc., creates an interesting opportunity here, which is something that we want to pursue further. Then we have to create, again, we go back to the expression of the ecosystem. We are actively working on creating this biobanking and biomedical research culture within our institution and also at a national level, because currently I coordinate the Portuguese National Biobank Network. And then, as I said, we want to assure financial sustainability, and we are actively, obviously, working also with in the training of people interested in the biobank activities. Now, focusing on the major theme of this particular forum, I don't have to really go through in a lot of detail on what and how biobanks can contribute towards personalized medicine. We can be involved at every single step of the choice of the patients, the choice of treatments, the type of samples that we can collect to study biomarkers, to do therapy follow-up, etc., etc. And what we can do here, again, is to diversify our activities and to generate adequate models to offer the clinicians and our research partners so that we foster their curiosity and we engage everyone in the very detailed activity in relation to personalized medicine. I give you here already a not updated slide on the contribution of our biobank in Portugal concerning the COVID-19 response. This was very interesting because in our major hospital, Hospital Santa Maria, it's called, in Lisbon, so our biobank is affiliated to this hospital, the very first COVID-19 patient was admitted to this hospital in Portugal. And we were fortunate that the ideal ecosystem already existed because the two main doctors that were attending COVID-19 patients at the ICU unit were collaborators of the biobank. And we started the very first collections, or some of the very first collections. We started the first one in the country for sure, collecting samples of patients admitted to the infirmary, then the ones that would go into the ICU, the ones that would have better outcomes, worse outcomes, etc., etc. And because of this, we managed to have a very high impact publication, and also not only the publication, but translating what was found by one of the research labs in our institute into guidelines, into following COVID-19 patients all over the world. This was a New England Journal of Medicine paper led by Luis Graça, who is an immunologist of our institute. And basically what they managed was following these patients before vaccines were introduced and then after the vaccination started, and the variations in terms of antibody titers, etc., a lot of immunological parameters allowed to define those guidelines. So this was a very personalized medicine driven type of activity, not really research, but activity at the time driven by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I am a cancer researcher by training, and so obviously cancer research, as was discussed in the previous talk, is very dear to my heart. And one of the major areas of activities of our biobank has to do with exactly personalized medicine in oncology. So besides contributing towards improving the diagnosis of the patients, to design targeted therapies or treatments more and more, and then to finally improve the health outcomes of cancer patients is one of our main global goals, if you like. And this includes pediatric cancers, but also adult cancers. We have a wide variety of collections and activities that have to do with this. And one of the most recent, this is 3-4 years old perhaps, was really the establishment of a PDX biobank. So we have this ongoing in the biobank for a lot of the most represented cancer types, if you like. Not only the establishment of PDX, but also the establishment of novel cell lines. With the activities of the biobank, we managed both in breast cancer, in sarcoma research, to have established very recently a couple of absolutely novel cell lines, which are very exciting because they will represent novel resources that we want to pursue further. And this, again, is some of the very novel resources and has to do with this innovation concern that we have. Concerning other types of diseases, we established at the Biobank this technology that basically consists of creating or generating induced pluripotent stem cells, basically from skin biopsies of rare disease patients. The interest here comes from a clinical standpoint, obviously, but also is developed to answer the concerns of some of the researchers in our institute who aim to use these IPS to differentiate into different types of cells that are affected in the different diseases, to study, for instance, mitochondrial diseases, metabolic diseases, and then to enter into these gene editing protocols to do the absolute 360-degree collaboration. So we isolate from the patients the samples, we create induced pluripotent stem cells, we generate differentiated cells with the genetic defect of that particular patient, and this will be corrected genetically and injected back into the patient. And this is ongoing at our institute as we speak. Finally, a busy and somewhat silly slide just to highlight that I had the pleasure of choosing only 12 publications resulting from precision medicine studies where the Biobank has been intrinsically active in the last few years only. And some of these papers were published in very high-profile journals, which makes us extremely happy. And this list was chosen from more than 30 publications in total, which gives us somewhat hope that what we're doing, not hope, proof that what we're doing is worth it and that is interesting for the majority of our collaborators. And I finish by revisiting this concept of the ecosystem, which is an expression I didn't expect to hear so much, but in this forum a lot of speakers have used this, which makes me very happy, because I always thought this was a very good expression. The luck we have is that the Biobank was created because of the existence of these three interconnected wheels. We are located in one of the largest hospitals in the country and one of the largest medical schools in the country. So we have the teaching side, the majority of researchers at our institute, like myself, we are teaching medical students at different levels. And so we have the teaching part, the research part, and obviously the hospital part. And this creates the ideal ecosystem. We can say right now, 2025, that every single department in our hospital has had or has collections at our Biobank, which is very significant in terms of the impact this has in the global community where we are located. So this slide is outdated, which is a good sign. I co-direct the Biobank together with Patrícia Costa Reis. She is a pediatric rheumatologist, and she's a very active, besides being co-director with myself, she's a very active generator of collections at the Biobank, mainly having to do with pediatric rheumatology. And very recently, we hired 2 more technicians to our team. And so we are very happy that we got to know you, and we want you to know us so that it's possible to establish some sort of collaborations in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your very insightful view of life as a biobanker. And now next speakers come from far south, Lithuania. And let me please introduce Daiva Dabkeviciene, I think that was something like that, who was a chief researcher leading the Biobank at the National Cancer Institute. And after her, we will hear Giedre Kvedaraviciene, who is a director of Lithuanian Population and Rare Disorders Biobank in Vilnius. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here and thank you for inviting me. And today I would like to share our experience from Lithuania and to explain you how we see our biobanks in Lithuania, how we fit the ecosystem of personalized medicine. So Lithuania is quite small, less than 3 million people, but our universities and hospitals are very active. And today we have 7 officially licensed biobanks in Lithuania, and we all support cancer treatment, rare diseases, and of course other biomedical projects. So in this map, you can see how Lithuania stands in BBMRI-ERIC network. We joined in 2023. And National Cancer Institute coordinates the national node of BBMRI-ERIC in Lithuania. So as Jens have mentioned, through BBMRI-ERIC, we are building very strong synergies with European biobank community. We are sharing standards, experience, and knowledge. So this slide is my favorite one, as it shows how our biobanks involved during that time and how we are still keeping growing. So up to 2015, we developed the legal framework for biobanks, and in 2017, after 2 years, National Cancer Institute established our first biobank in Lithuania. It was a good start for the others. So in 2019, our main universities and hospitals joined together and started our main infrastructure project, research project, Human Biological Resources Center. And after 5 years, in 2024, we have final conference for this project, and our Human Biological Resources Center is included in the Lithuanian roadmap for research infrastructures as a recognized national infrastructure. So today, our biobanks, all biobanks have licenses and modern infrastructures, so we are all ready to move forward. The main task in Human Biological Center were to adopt storage facilities, to install the necessary equipment, to join BBMRI-ERIC, to develop IT system. It was challenging, and we are still fixing it. And of course, to prepare documents for quality management, sample provision, and data protection. Here is the map of our center, and we can see that our main universities and hospitals in Vilnius, Kaunas, and Klaipėda, they joined together to create Lithuanian biobanking network. And in Vilnius, we all are on the same street, but on different sides, all 4 biobanks. So here you can find some facts about our National Cancer Institute. We have collaboration between scientific departments and clinical departments, and National Cancer Institute as well as National Cancer Center are involved very actively in national and international projects and various activities, and builds a very strong background for our biobanking and personalized medicine. So here is our National Cancer Institute biobank. We are part of BBMRI directory or BBMRI catalog, and it helps us to be visible and accessible for collaboration. So expertise in our biobank is data analytics and genetic analysis, and we use different equipment from freezers to sequencing, long-read sequencing. So our main research direction is radiogenomics, digital biopsy, which means that we are mainly focused on non-invasive patient care methods. So collaboration areas are biobank collections, cancer biomarkers, multi-omic research, and education. So the concept from sample to decision making, I think it happens only when we have very close relationship across biobanks, participants, clinics, and science. And let me show a couple of samples how we do in practice in Lithuania. So the first, our project is SPECTA, coordinated by RTC, and it brought together scientists, biobanks, and clinicians, and to identify oncology patients for efficient access to molecular testing and personalized treatment. And in Lithuania, our oncologist at National Cancer Institute started this project in 2018, just after our biobank was established. And it has grown into very nice collaboration, and up to date we have more than 100 patients involved in the study. The next example is our collaboration with Vilnius University scientists. It's a mutograph project where we, together with our partners, provided data and samples, and we get very important results for Lithuanian cohort as well as other countries, Poland included, and Czech Republic as well. So to conclude, I would like to say that we see our biobanks as very active and very essential part of personalized medicine, and we did a lot, but we have to move forward, and the next step for us is to get sustainable funding for all national biobanks that enable our routine practice, enable us to grow, and to integrate into personalized medicine program. We will be supported by BBMRI-ERIC membership plan, helping us to expand our collections, to strengthen our collaboration, and to educate biobank community and also biobank users. So the main goal is to put all these parts together, all activities together, and to create very strong synergetic system that would support our clinicians, our scientists, and the most important thing, the one that benefits our patients. So I would like to stop at this point. Thank you so much for your attention, and would like to invite Giedre Kvedaraviciene, Director of our Population and Rare Disease Biobank, to continue the presentation.
Thank you, Daiva. Thank you for this opportunity to be here and present what we have done in terms of population biobank in Lithuania. I must say that today a few themes have been repeatedly highlighted. It's the importance to cooperate, consolidate, and focus on prevention and precision in preventing certain diseases. So, in our understanding, Lithuanian Population and Rare Disorders Biobank is hitting all the nuts, which is making me super happy. And without further delay, let me give you an overview how we use the context within which this Population Biobank has been opened in Lithuania. So we are part of Vilnius University ecosystem, and it's a traditional university with 14 different faculties, a strong focus on interdisciplinary research, and of course it's part of major European research infrastructures, including BBMRI-ERIC and Eureka Institute, which is a cooperation for translational research. Reason I'm saying this is because for multiple competences, especially in the data field, we do rely on internal resources, and we are happy that we can pull expertise inside as well. So the Population Biobank was delayed by a few years because it's open in the newly opened Medical Science Center, objective reasons. COVID has slowed down many things, including our building works. And down there we have a very diverse infrastructure, so it covers over 70 different labs. We do have a strong focus on experimental medicine, applied research. We also have highly controlled lab spaces, and we have Lithuanian Population and Rare Disorders Biobank. So as a population biobank, we are the only one in Lithuania collecting biological samples and personal health data from general population. We do host multidisciplinary in-house team to support researchers, and I often see that it's not only about the infrastructure, but you also have to take steps back sometimes and educate researchers how to work with biobanks. What legal advantages does it give? The status of biobanking and the collections for multiple reuse, for data aggregation, as well for, let's say, strategic planning, what you can do, pulling different labs together to work on same sets of samples. We also have developed an online platform for biobank participants. It's a work in progress. I was super happy to hear Latvian colleagues today presenting, and I do hope we set up working meetings later on to make sure that we share those, let's say, questions in preparation and making the structures effective, efficient, and safe to operate. And as I said, we are part of a major scientific medical hub in Lithuania, backed up by digital technologies and computational research teams. So in our positioning, we understood that we have to be a gate for the population. So it's our task to be accessible, transparent, and easy to participate for the wider population, right? Because when you have disease-driven biobanks established in hospitals, it's easy. The demand is already there, right? The interest for the patients to participate. But when you're reaching out to a relatively healthy population and start talking to them about, hey, would you like to join and support the scientific research, as well as help us to make Lithuanian healthcare system stronger and more focused on personalized medicine, that work requires much more effort. So we did build an online website where participants can register and fill in questionnaires at their own convenience of time. We also took care of making sure that we can structure the data the way we need, that it's easy afterwards to analyze, as well as have in the back office such solutions when, if any extra questions or additional research can kick in, it would be easy for us to recontact participants and ask them to fill in additional questions. When launching this platform, I was warned by many people saying, oh, Giedre, unless you catch a participant and force him to fill in the questionnaire on the spot, the response rate will be very low. That is not the case in Lithuania, which makes me really happy. We do have roughly 50 or 60% response rate, which I think is significantly high. And so it's about, I guess, delivering the messages and motivation as well. What we're also doing, so I do understand that as a biobank, I have to have an outreach to the citizens across the country. Right now, we are piloting with one private healthcare institution and the healthcare diagnostic labs in 3 different cities. So next to our own facility at the Medical Science Center, we have 6 extra labs in Vilnius, Kaunas, and Šiauliai. Why I'm saying piloting? Because, here at least the biobank community, people know how important is the quality control and how many little steps add to it and can either damage it or make sure that we can be in full control. So we are right now learning all the lessons in the process, and we will scale up hopefully in the coming years. Same steps: informed consent, collection of biological samples, then all the solutions for data sample and storage, and an outreach to scientific community for those samples to be used. So our vision that we have, that when you talk about the biobanks, yes, you do talk about the samples as a source of available data, but even more you talk about the data and how well you integrate it with all other sources. And I would say that it was a very wise decision to establish population biobank in the context of Vilnius University. because we do have strong research infrastructure, a lot of data solutions, and a lot of know-how how to pull that data, as well as we have our university hospital Santaros clinics with one of the really most advanced healthcare information systems, not only in Lithuania. So on top of that, we also have an agreement of strategic cooperation and partnership with National Data Agency. They do have a data lake and extensive capabilities to pull health-related data from all public registries. So together with them, we are running small pilots to see how we could meaningfully connect multimodal data from very different sources of different quality, how to clean, how to standardize, and how to enable it for research. So we are, as my colleague Daiva already said, we are members of the National Biobank Consortium. Originally it was built as 4 repositories, so the third one is population-based, other ones are associated with our leading hospitals in the country. Returning back to the Medical Science Center, we are in very close cooperation with Translational Health Research Institute. So with the opening of the Medical Science Center, what we did, we also did, I would say, a small revolution where we extracted research teams from other established institutes and made sure that we target, I think right now we have 9 or 10 either research centers or labs on the most important topics currently. But there are several elements which I would say are pretty innovative. So one is multidisciplinary approach is a must. That is one thing. Another one, it does operate on a competitive basis, meaning that we did set up KPIs for those teams to perform, and if let's say the progress is not sufficient, then new teams will be enrolled and new opportunities will be given for those research teams. What we also did to avoid this fragmentation of resources and competences, all the critical equipment is operated as a core facility with open access. So it does give an opportunity not only for internal teams to cooperate more, but also for the industry and other research institutions to step in and use our facilities together with the competences or on their own. We're also very happy that our Translational Health Research Institute has recently been awarded 8 million euros grant to develop Center for Advanced Disease Modeling together with University of Utrecht and University Medical Center of Utrecht. So that is another development where, again, the biobank is seen as a backbone, as an instrument to support the research, and we are looking at advanced disease modeling, include induced pluripotent stem cells, organoids, organ-on-a-chips, spatial biology, bioinformatics, all of those technologies merging together and hopefully building a strong translational results out of that. The goals we have is to partner in development of digital healthcare platform and advanced disease modeling. We do see loads of parallels in that, to enhance clinical research and to serve as a node in federated machine learning. So focus on AI and how we could contribute by providing quality data to that is one of the things that we are looking for and working on. What we have major scientific medical hub in Lithuania, digital technologies and computational research teams, partnerships in translational research, advanced national data collection opportunities through the National Data Agency. And we are looking both for funding and for research partners in same direction. So I feel that I'm in the right spot participating at this event. Thank you very much. And with that, a few contacts. Anyone, if interested, I'm here to reach out, or it will be easier us to find online as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, and now my pleasure is to introduce my co-chair, Vita Rovite, who is a leader researcher in, as you heard, in Latvian biomedical research and studies center. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm waiting for my presentation. My presentation will be in two parts. First, I will shortly introduce our Latvian national biobanking network, and then I will highlight also some specific initiatives in personalized medicine that are happening in our biobanking field in Latvia. And there will be also slides from all the institutions currently in our national network. I will give credit to them as well. So our national biobanking network started in 2012 with participation in BBMRI-ERIC project, large prospective cohorts, where we screen the landscape in Latvia, identifying all the potential collections of biological material that is used for research, and that yielded identification of two largest institutions in Latvia, University of Latvia and Riga Stradiņš University. So they already had some significant collections in their institutions, and we invited them to join. And Latvian Biomedical Research Studies Center actually hosts that I am representing and that is leading these BBMRI network activities in Latvia, maintains our national biobank genome database of Latvian population. That actually has established already in 2003, so we have over 20 years experience in our institute working with biobanks. But all these other institutions were invited to join our network, and they have all signed this partner charter. And from on today, we will need to redraw the map and add also Children's Hospital to the landscape of Latvia, that they are also included in our network. So firstly, the goals of our Latvian National Biobanking Network is to build this network, involve all the stakeholders in Latvia, and do it under the umbrella of BBMRI-ERIC and promote biomedical and clinical research in Latvia. And of course, we are involving all Latvian partners. We are working in specific areas of ethical and legal aspects, quality management, IT here, but also in close collaboration with BBMRI-ERIC and translating all the best practices also in Latvia to be on the level of other European biobanks. And of course, we provide services, we involve in projects, and we engage with all relevant stakeholders, ministries, industry partners, and general public. Our first phase of national network activities were 5 years, where we established this network, strengthened, developed different procedures, and currently we are in the second phase. That is strongly overseen also from the Ministry of Education and Science, and they have set already specific goals for our network activities that they see, and we also see that we have already built this network. We have certain capacities, and the next level would be to involve in many significant European activities, to bring more European activities to Latvia, coordinating them as well, and also providing our services to wider landscape across Europe and other countries in the world. So this is our plan for next 4 years. And annually we have biobanking seminars trying to link all the stakeholders here in Latvia. We do educational activities and collaboration on national level, so everyone is very welcome to join. So today, Children's Hospital joined us, and we're very, very happy for that. But we see that we have still room to grow in Latvia as well. As Jens also stressed in his speech, that One Health initiative is very strong in Europe, and BBMRI-ERIC is also planning to connect with that. We have already established connections with University of Life Sciences and Technologies and Institute of Food Safety and Animal Health and Environment to also link in these biobanking activities, as both of these institutions have specific biological connection, and we see that there are interlinks where we can join and work together in field of biobanking. And of course, we have two also clinical university hospitals, Riga East Clinical University Hospital. We already have connections, strong connections with them, but also Paul Stradinić Clinical University Hospital are also our partners, and we are willing to work together also with them. And now more specifically about examples from personalized medicine initiatives in Latvian Biobank network. So I will start with the Latvian Genome Reference, as this is one of the largest initiatives definitely in our networks that is represented by Latvian Biomedical Research Study Center. Professor Jānis Kloviņš is leading that, where we are part of 1 Million Genome Initiative in Europe, and this is the largest sequencing, whole genome sequencing project in Latvia. Currently we have already 3,500 short-read sequences and 500 long-read sequences obtained from Latvian population that we are studying and using in numerous contexts actually to be able to deliver personalized approaches to healthcare here in Latvia. And of course, linking also to the European-wide initiative for using this data. So overall, our genomic precision medicine plan or the development of Latvia had several of these steps. Firstly, starting from 2022, there were several projects where we started to generate this genomic data. Then came this 1 Million Genome initiatives that were supported by different resilience recovery funds and also other European projects. And currently we have already significant number of data generated for the Latvian population, and we are working with that. And the next steps where we see that we are already starting, but what we need to do in next coming years is really to make it available potentially for healthcare, to develop specific genomic tools and to work on these issues. So overall, besides just sequencing of whole genomes, it was also understood that we need to create a platform and infrastructure how to work and how to make this data accessible for the personalized medicine and other activities. So this plan was developed from data acquisition, sequencing, data storage, and currently we are at the local usage level, but working together with 1 Million Genome Initiative to also open this up for wider research audience, but of course also working on important initiatives here in Latvia. So actually, main core of our genomic reference system is located in this building, in Latvian National Library, where we have data storage, where already a significant part of genomic data are located here. We are also currently working on specifically developing or redeveloping our biobank dynamic consent system, because we have developed this system for direct communication with donors of the biobank, with our biobank, but we saw that this system was very applicable also for further developments, specifically containing these different user groups like participants, doctors, researchers, administrators, that could be further reinvented and used also for facilitating this interface for genomic data access and further use. So we are currently working on that. We have all the specific licenses in place and working in strategic development to fit it all perfectly according to different data standards also in European level. And of course, we plan to also connect this system. We already have agreement with Riga East University Hospital in place that could be one of the sources for incoming genomic data, and they could use this resource also for their clinical needs, but also other hospitals, laboratories, and also, for example, disease prevention and control center that will be managing European health data space activities in Latvia. So we are on close connection with that as well. Now about the tools, I mentioned one initiative about how to really get this genomic data back to the participant was creation of polygenic risk calculator that was done in a research state program project, where we have created a prototype where we can communicate back polygenic risk scores for specific disease. Currently it's 1 and 2 type diabetes, hypercholesterolemia, breast and prostate cancer, but of course this could be expanded further, but this would be one of the tools that could be accessible via this genome infrastructure that we are creating. One of the examples I also wanted to mention is our pilot for hereditary cancer variant investigation in Latvia. And this is actually the first example where we very directly have used whole genome data to report clinical findings back to the participant. What we did, we selected specific groups from the biobank, our national biobank, that is under 50 years old, people with cancer and family history of cancer. We did sequencing of whole genomes of specific groups, group of these people, and we actually identified patients with mutations in known cancer hereditary genes like Lynch syndrome, BRCA, and other that we, with close connection with clinical geneticist Baiba Lace and working with our IT specialist Raitis, with how to communicate these whole genome findings back to the participant. We also, of course, did independent genetic confirmation of these findings. So this was the first model how to really get back information to the participants. And also, it is serving currently further reporting of some data that is coming from our genomic reference project. So this sets a landscape how to do that. And now I turn to some to other institutions in our national network. This is Institute of Clinical and Preventive Medicine, led by Professor Leja. It's under University of Latvia, and they have many significant initiatives in personalized cancer screening. Actually, they are main coordinators of these TOGAS and Your Screen project joint actions. So actually, as Latvia is coordinating, we are setting the tone for cancer screening in Europe through these activities, and they have different epidemiological cohorts in their biobank, and also collaborating with ERIC and the National Cancer Institute on several projects. So one of the projects is G-STARS, that is multicentric, so across different centers in Latvia, collecting samples and specifically looking at prevention of gastric cancer mortality. And the cohort has been used in numerous studies facilitating this gastric cancer research. They also have initiative for volatile breast marker discovery, specifically in stomach, lung, and gastrointestinal cancer area, and participating in several large European projects in that. And both University of Latvia and Latvian Biomedical Research Study Center are involved in 1 million microbiome human project, where large data sets of microbiome would be, sequencing data would be generated to bring new level discoveries about the field of microbiome in the world. Then I turn to other institutions that is in our Latvian national network, that is Riga Stradiņš University, represented also here by Professor Arvīds Irmējs and Professor Zanda Danneberga, and they are very strong specifically in breast cancer field. They are participating in two large consortiums, CIMBA and BCAC, where the confluence studies that is looking for specific susceptibility loci and polygenic risk score generation, therefore bringing this knowledge from the consortium also back in Latvia and implementing in this breast cancer field as well. And one of the last slides that I have is one new initiative that we have started. Actually, induced pluripotent stem cells were mentioned already in two presentations in this session. So actually, we're maybe really looking for some future. But we joined Latvian Biomedical Research Study Center, joined University of Latvia Faculty of Medicine tenured professor Una Riekstiņa project with interest to create this IPS bank in Latvia, but we started with ideas that we need to really focus on histocompatibility gene loci, HLA, because it was very not so much information available in literature about mapping this HLA loci and different frequencies in Latvia. So what we did, we took the data that we had from our genome reference project, where we have all these genome sequences, and we typed from the whole genome sequences 29 HLA genes and mapped their frequencies, specifically also looking for these donor and donation-related HLA profiles. We also were first to publish these wide genome references and frequencies in international catalog, so Latvia is there on the map. And further, what we are trying to do with Professor Riekstiņa's group, we are looking for these super compatible donors from our biobank to actually to select them, to find them, to be able to create these IPS clinical grade cell lines that there could be used for numerous purposes in Latvia. So this is a project, and we hope to continue. And with this, I want to thank everyone for the attention, and I want to mention that we will have specific session at 3:30 in room C, where Jens would directly engage with our Latvian National Biobank Network. So please come to room C at 3:30 today, and we can have very deep discussion about our national network. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Vita, and you found us all to do something to do this afternoon. But now we have still 10 minutes to answer some questions. So can I please ask all the speakers to the stage for a short while?
If somebody of you have questions, please reach out hand, and there will be a microphone coming, and you can ask any question to the speakers. Is there anyone? Not yet. So maybe, do you have any specific questions? I don't have any specific questions. I just wanted to everyone to have a word and maybe give some reflection about our session, about biobanking field in general, how you feel, what is happening, what is needed. Yeah. I don't know who wants to start.
It works, yeah. So, okay, so maybe I can start. So, as I said during my presentation in Lithuania, let's say we have already prepared our biobanks, we are ready to work, and we often talk, even with Vita and inside our biobanks, that we need broader collaboration with Estonia, with Latvia. Let's start with Baltic states, and as we have also all Europe through BBMRI-ERIC. So I think the main what we need now just to discuss, collaborate and find new projects, new ways how to do those pilot studies for our biobanks, for our bioethic committees, for all this biobanking environment. So maybe someone would like to add.
We go in order? Okay. Thank you. Yes, very practical issues. We need support, logistics, infrastructure, and expertise for data collection and analysis. This is a high priority. We need bioinformaticians, computational biologists, and we need storage capacity. So that is an issue. And then we have to do all this in the context of, I think it's applicable to the different countries represented here, the more and more strict data protection needs. So the ethics is tightening. We had to change very recently all our informed consents, etc. So that is becoming more and more, and having to do with data is harder, let's say, for biobanks. It was easier when we were only talking about samples, because that didn't really create a major issue. These days, I think those are my main reflection in terms of needs, and also for young people in the audience, opportunities, because this will open up a lot of fields having to do with data curation, analysis, etc., which is within the setting of biobanks a great opportunity for a number of studies, I think. Thank you.
I guess I will agree with everything that has been said. From my perspective, so a few things. One is clearly a lot of things have been repeating through different presentations, indicating that both problems and solutions or ways are very similar. So coordination and efforts alignment on the most critical questions is important to optimize the efforts, optimize the cost of doing things, and managing, having that strategic alignment is important. Hearing to your comment about the issues that you have with data, I think yes, heterogeneity of interpretations of what is ethical, what is not, what is allowed, what is not, is a challenge, because on one hand, especially when we talk about rare disease research, you do need to collaborate internationally. On the other hand, the minute you step into a potential international collaboration, you get multiple versions of what is okay and what is not okay, depending on which national legislation you are coming from. So I would say that from that standpoint, maybe using BBMRI-ERIC and other infrastructures that we have as instruments to align our position, starting from the Brussels bubble, right, and what is negotiated down there, and also making sure that same messages are brought back to the national level. So communication and management skills and ethics, legal people's participation is of critical importance. And yesterday in one of the sessions, a colleague from Copenhagen was showing the structure of the team. So clinicians, or let's say the scientific part in terms of FTAs did a very, very small proportion. The majority was about administration and legal management stuff. So I think that is something that we really need to align and cooperate even more, so that we wouldn't be doing Eureka discoveries on our own and then confirming them happily that, oh, I have been going the right way, because everyone seems to be thinking in the same direction.
Congratulations to Latvia, Lithuania, but also Portugal. Portugal is not yet a member state of BBMRI-ERIC, but we'll work on that. No, I think what you saw here is really high-level implementation of biobanking for personalized medicine. I think this makes me very confident that the new life science strategy from the European Commission, which has been just brought out in July, and where 2 days ago there was a major event in the Danish EU presidency, event in Copenhagen actually, looking at how to implement it, because in 2030, if you're not aware of, the European Commission thinks that Europe should by then be the place in the world for health and life science. And I think these examples that you brought, they're not only local, they're not even nationally, they're radiating out internationally. And I think this is something where BBMRI-ERIC is super proud to have you in our network. And I think with our roadmap that we have developed together, we can scale then from there, we can connect, we can basically bring this even further out, and everyone can basically build up on each other, learn from each other, and therefore we benefit then the patient in the end. So I think this is fantastic. So I agree with everything which has been said, but I think it's really, even going back in my memory when biobanking started out in the first conferences, what we were talking and discussing, this is really high-level implementation for personalized medicine. So really great. Congratulations, and also congratulations to this excellent conference.
Cannot disagree with that. So I agree with everything that has been said. From my part, I still feel this. We have many initiatives, and they are very good, very nice examples. But I still feel that the real implementation and the real added values that could be done to healthcare by genomic data, but all the knowledge that we have achieved in science at this point of humanity, could still be accelerated, and it could bring even more benefit to everyone. So I have this internal vision that we really need some still 5-10 years to really get to the clinic fully, to fully integrate all the knowledge and initiatives that we have. But through these initiatives, we are doing important work, important preparation. But I think also BBMRI-ERIC is one of the contributors to really get it into our everyday life, what we are doing here, yes.
Good points, but I will go directly to another direction. And I will be very pragmatic about the future of biobanking, and the world is full of cross-sectional studies, millions of people being GWASed, being sequenced, being analyzed for, but go longitudinal, collect longitudinal high-quality samples, serum, plasma, liquor, even DNA for epigenetics. Because there is the future. You can't compete with UK Biobank or FinGen with numbers, or all of us. You have to do high quality sampling, deep phenotyping, and longitudinal samples. That's my advice.
I don't think it's about the competition. That's the essence of the open science, you know, and secondary use of health data and everything. So if we manage to make it workable, not only on the paper, but in real practice, and I fully agree with Jens that really it's a lot of things to be proud what has been done already, despite all the limitations or challenges that we know. But that's the thing, you know, because a lot of good things have been already done, that allows us to move into more focused, more precise areas and understand what needs to be done, what is rational to do, and let's say replicate on a national level, and what is sufficient to know on a regional level, not to be wasting our efforts or time. So this is how knowledge is being built and how it is being brought to clinical practice in reality, because as it was said, you know, it's all about the patients.
Very good, thank you. Are there any points from the audience have come up? Are there? No? So just closing remarks from our part, yes.
If I may say so, just in continuation of this discussion. So yes, we can be proud of what is there. Before the day of yesterday, I was actually also, however, very skeptic, you know, the geopolitical situation that we have, all the regulations, then the European Union, too many member states, they need to agree to move forward and so on, and all the challenges that we still face in the daily implementation of the fantastic results that we achieve. So like, how can we get this done? And I think this conference in Copenhagen, 300, I would say, really top-level experts from the different fields, cross-sectorial, policymakers, industry, scientists, clinicians, patient representatives, really super interdisciplinary. And the spirit was really there, like, let us find ways to move, to accelerate faster. Let's get, you know, away from these regulations. Maybe look into sandboxes where we can have certain implementations just pushed forward, learn from it, then transfer it to the next country and so on. So there were a lot of great ideas to be taken forward at a higher speed as we are used to. And I think it was fantastic to see that the policymakers were actually happy to receive these ideas. It doesn't mean that they will be all implemented, but to have 300 top-notch experts actually in different working groups coming up with very similar ideas, maybe they phrased it differently, but it showed that overarching there was common agreement that there are ways to move forward much faster and, as you said, in a collaborative way. Learning from each other, not competing. We are one, basically one community in Europe, so to say. This is, I think, the strengths that I took out from this conference.
Thank you. Are there any other remarks? No? Everything has been said. Currently, we're having a break, but I would invite everyone from the session to come out for a photograph there, because Jens needs to have a photo with a lot of Latvian audience to show that we are a lot in Latvia and working in biobanking. So gather up at the photograph. Yes, everyone is allowed, so let's take a larger photo and still hang out together. And everyone from Latvia is invited at 3:30 room C about more direct engagement.